Hello and welcome to Gaggia TV. My name's Mike and this is Nick.
Hi.
And what we're doing today is we're looking in detail at the Anima Black machine. We've got a comparison video in one of our playlists, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at this single machine in more detail than was done in that video. And we're going to start with espresso.
We are, yeah. Start with turning the machine on. We've turned it on at the back and we've got a little red flashing light here. So we press this as the power button or standby button. So when the machine goes in standby mode, you just wake the machine up there.
Okay.
So we'll start at the top of the machine and work our way forward.
Oh, okay, fine.
On the left-hand side, if you look at the machine, you have the water tank.
We do.
Which is 1.5 litres of water there.
Yeah.
Removable, as you can see, but you can fill it in situ as well, so you don't have to lug it to the sink.
Running water through, we could just put water on the top like that.
You will see a little...
It's got a little handle, but it complains if you take it out.
It does. Also, if you run out of water, you have this little warning sign on here. So the machine will cut off if there's no water in there, which is a good safety feature.
Yep.
Can't run it dry, and it just says, so if you ever get that little teardrop, that means we need some water. Oh, the water tank's not in, but it's normally just the water out. So that's on that side, and on the other side we have the bean hopper.
Beans.
This is 250 gram bean hopper.
Okay.
I'd recommend that you only put in a few days worth of beans, really. So you wouldn't need it sitting there. If you own, 250 grams is 32 coffees, something along those lines. So you don't want that sat there if you're drinking there for 3 weeks. So just as much as you need, really. In
Fresh
here,
beans required.
Definitely. In here, you also have a grind adjustment.
That's the yellow.
The little yellow thing there. So you can twist that from fine to coarse.
We'll cut in a photo of that here.
Bits and pieces in between. Finer the grind, the stronger the coffee, the coarser the grind, the milder the coffee.
Fine.
So that's the bean hopper, nice and simple. And you'll see the little chute in the middle. You select this on the front of the Aroma Strength button, and this chute basically allows you to put a different flavour of ground coffee into the machine. So if you've got a very strong bean in there and you want decaf or just a different flavour, mocha flavour, whatever you want, as long as you put ground coffee, 1 chute at a time, 7 grams into there.
I'm regretting chewing that bean now.
It sounded good.
It was great.
It sounded good. So that's the top of the machine, and we'll now look at the front of the machine. You see 6 buttons, 3 on either side.
Again, we're going to cut in a photo here.
And they are very similar throughout the Anima range. You can see our Anima comparison video.
You can.
Also available on our website. But we're focused just on the black today. So we have Espresso, Espresso Lungo, Aroma Strength. That's the 3 buttons here. And also there's a little return and a tick button. That's when we're doing some things with the menu.
The menus.
We'll show you that in a second.
Yeah.
So the Espresso and the Espresso Lungo comes factory set at roughly 25 and 50 mil.
Okay. Like a
1 ounce and 2 ounce.
Double.
Yeah, basically. So we've got the shot glass here, and 1 ounce will be to the line, 2 ounces to the brim. So an espresso traditionally is one bean, 1 shot of coffee with 7 grams.
Okay, 7 grams. So that's what. Sorry. So you say 1 bean. We're not grinding up 1 bean to make an espresso. It's the bean function on the front.
Cost effective, really. It would be very cost. 1 bean makes an espresso. A industry standard shot of espresso, 7 grams of coffee.
Right.
On here, you'll see the aroma strength. As we press this button, you'll see more beans illuminated.
Okay, we can choose from 1 to 5 beans on the menu.
1 bean is 7 grams.
7 grams.
Goes up then in 1 gram.
Okay,
increments.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Well done.
Yeah,
right, so 12 after that, but we don't do 12.
We don't do 12. I can't count
Go to
12.
11, so that's really good counting. Well
Thank
done.
you.
So we're going to stick to one bean, which is 7 grams.
Okay.
And one espresso shot will be 1 ounce of water through there.
Right.
If I'll flick through that very quickly, so I'll just go back on that. If we get the spoon illuminated,
that would be the pre-ground.
Yeah, basically turning the grinder off. Basically.
Okay. Yeah,
so now we're saying put some ground coffee in. Now select whether you want espresso or espresso lungo, and go for it in the same way. We haven't got that, so we're going to go for 1 bean.
Okay.
And we can just press espresso. Now espresso will shoot through 1 lot. We're going to make a double espresso.
Okay.
So we're going to press it twice. And you'll see there the little 2 times icon on the front.
Right. Again, we'll cut in a shot.
This will go through the procedure twice.
Okay.
So it doesn't make
grind,
2 at once.
Push,
correct.
Water through.
So you'll see one lot of coffee come through, and then it'll go through it again, grinding another 7 grams of coffee on top of that. So the strength, obviously, up to 11 grams is about 1.6. So if you press that twice, you're getting 22 grams of coffee, which is a lot. Treble. So beware of your Caffe levels. So I'm quite happy personally when I'm drinking this. 1 bean is
1 bean is pretty solid.
Yeah, maybe 2 if you need waking up.
The Gaggia office is 1 bean.
Is it? Yeah. So that's it. So there's 1 shot of coffee, and it would now go through that cycle again. It's getting rid of the waste into the bin. We'll show you the bin in a second, and it's going to make another coffee put straight on top of that. So this is a double espresso.
This is a double espresso.
We've been in the office all day today, and we've filming quite a bit, so you've had a few already.
A lot of coffee.
So maybe leave that one.
You're going to leave this alone.
Just leave that one.
I'll
find I need it. Yeah, that's it. So there's the espresso and espresso lungo. So the lungo traditionally set at 2 ounces. So that's really the left-hand side as you're looking at the machine.
Okay.
Those 3 buttons, which is the black side of the
But
coffee.
to clarify, the Lungo would make a 2-ounce espresso,
Yeah.
but it wouldn't use 2 grind cycles. It would just be a more diluted espresso.
Correct, more diluted.
Okay.
These are programmable.
Okay.
So by pushing and holding, you can change the length of the coffee. So if you
Increase
want
and
to make it,
decrease.
2 ounces and 3 ounces, you can do that.
Right.
Program it to the size of the cup.
Yeah, yeah. You could go ristretto as well. You could go less
absolutely.
than- yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
If you want like a darker one, you could make a smaller espresso and then program it that way.
Nice strength of coffee, that. Well,
That looks pretty good.
14 grams of coffee.
I'm good.
2 ounces, so
Yeah, yeah.
pretty good. So
I'm gonna leave it alone,
We'll
I
leave
like
that
to
one
say
down there, yeah. We'll leave that one down there. So on the right-hand side of the machine, as you look at it, you've got 3 buttons again. So we've got steam, hot water, and
All
the
right.
menu button.
Should we do steam first?
We'll do steam first, yeah. So the steam button, I've got my trusted steaming jug here.
With a thermometer.
With the thermometer. I love my thermometers.
I know.
Yeah. So we just simply push the button.
If you like the video, write in and send us a thermometer.
Send me a thermometer. I like thermometers. I
Yeah.
collect thermometers. As we said before,
He really does.
65 to 70 degrees is the ideal temperature for milk. Over 70 degrees, you burn the lactose. So this will give you a good indication, nice visual aid.
Okay.
You can obviously, when you've done a few, you get the handle of this is so hot,
can
that's
hold
about the
it.
right temperature.
Yeah, but-
and you'll see a lot of professional baristas, no thermometers. But it's just foolproof for me, consistency, which you've got with the automatic machines, and this adds to that consistency really.
Yeah.
So we've got straight in there, the panerella is steaming the milk, so the steam comes out of the bottom of the panerella.
Yeah.
There's a little hole in the top of the panerella, this brings air in.
Okay.
And so this is going to expand or stretch the milk.
Stretch them.
Correct, yeah. Add froth to it. And we're already up to 40 degrees, so it's a pretty quick operation.
Yeah.
I would always recommend you do the milk first, coffee second.
Yeah,
Milk
otherwise
takes
you
a
can have
little
the
bit
espresso
longer.
cooling. While
Exactly, yeah. So it's very simple. We're up to now 50 degrees, so it's getting quite hot, quite fast. And
And this is where one of the tick buttons comes into play.
yeah, this little tick button here will tell us to cut the steam off. So we're on about 60, so I'm going to cut it there because it will carry on heating a little bit afterwards. So perfect 65 degrees.
Thermal inertia.
And there we go, see? It's a little bit of a drip and perfect foam there. Pretty
Okay,
good foam.
that's pretty
wasn't it?
good.
Yeah, pretty good.
So very good.
Now we can leave that sitting there in its stainless steel jug.
I'm going to show it to the camera, but if this doesn't work, I'm going to cut in a photograph of the milk.
So we have milk on the steaming arm.
Yes.
We've got to clean that milk
Yeah,
off. And obviously we can just give it a wipe. But something that is a good practice that I always recommend to people is if you press the hot water button now.
And this would be a good time to introduce the hot water button.
Indeed. Yeah, well that's the next one down. Push the hot water button. We're getting rid of the pressure and the steam in the boiler. And we're going to have a little steady stream of water in a moment. This is purging the wand or cleaning the wand out. So any residues of milk in there, it just cleans it, flushes it through. And it does take seconds. So really,
Yeah.
if you
This
get
is
into that
something you should
habit
be
of
doing
doing
every single
absolutely.
time.
And you can see from there,
Because you do have to take care of these machines.
you need to, milk
We're going to
dries.
talk about decalcification soon, but
Milk dries and causes all sorts of blockages and problems. Yeah, not immediately, not in 2 months and 3 months, but in a couple of years' time, you're going to start having maybe flow problems with the steam. And just to give it a little wipe down every time is good practice. And any decent coffee shop, you'll see them always do that straight away.
The
to the steam.
barista rag.
They do indeed. Yeah, you have your barista rag in your hand.
Yep.
So that's a good wipe down. Now this does come completely off, and you can clean the wand there and make sure it's absolutely clean. And I say for every time, it's a really good idea to do that. So that's the steaming button with the panerella, and we've already talked about the hot water.
we have. It gives you hot water. This is very much a machine where if you push the button, it gives you what it says on the button.
It does. So again, if we wanted to make an Americano, we've covered that previously, we can press the hot water button and get as much as we like. This is free flow hot water now, so it can just flow out there, and then we can just simply add the espresso on top of that to make an Americano.
Yeah.
So that's very simple.
If you're curious about Americanos, take a look at on the video. We talk too much about Americanos.
We like Americanos. We're into Americanos.
We're very popular around here at the moment.
So there's your water. We'll probably put a little bit more of that in, then you can show your espresso straight on. You've got a lovely Americano straight to drink. So that's it. We'll talk very briefly about the menu button, because there's a few little features on the menu button
You
which
can
are
change up
useful.
a couple of things inside the machine.
You can indeed. So if we press the menu button, these up and down toggle buttons now come into play, and this return and tick buttons to select it. So the first one we see is coffee temperature, so we can increase or decrease the coffee temperature.
Yeah, that's for your espresso. So if you find your espresso too cold or too hot, then you can
tweak that. We have it set to medium, we find that fine, but if you want a little bit hotter, you can do that.
It'll change the flavour as well, be careful, you're not just changing the temperature.
You've also got a standby button now, so if we select that, you can see it, at the moment we've got it set to 3 hours, 180 minutes, but you can have it turning off after 15 or 30 minutes, whatever. So that's just basically a little energy saving thing. And the next one is display contrast, so this increases or decreases the brightness on here.
If you can't see it.
Easy to see. Water hardness setting, this is quite important.
So listen.
Scale. So scale, we don't like scale. Machines don't like scale. When you buy the Animas, you get a little litmus paper test.
You get a little strip inside it, yeah.
So you can test your home water, not like water in the tank, I guess, but test the home water and set the water hardness accordingly. So this one
give
here,
you a number from 1 to 4, right?
there it is, yeah, and there's your number to 1 to 4.
And
so you select it, and this tells you how often to descale your machine.
Okay.
I recommend it if you're a very, very soft water area, you still descale your machine every 6 to 9 months, or 6 to months to a year. But you know, as much as a monthly in hard water areas, really. So you can set the water hardness there. All our automatic machines also take water filters.
They do.
So you can
the Brita filters,
the
Filtrax, and also the AquaClean.
AquaClean. So they can go into your water tank, and they are great. But there is a word of warning, even.
Word of warning.
Or something like that.
That's
if these go in and they just stay in there forever, they're going to stop working after a period of time.
Yes.
So if you're in a hard water area, these need to be changed absolutely regularly, released very, very regularly.
Follow the instructions on the packet to the letter.
And if you don't do that, you can cause more problems.
Yeah.
So we kind of say, you know, maybe not.
Maybe not,
Use the hardness test, set your hardness level and descale it regularly.
Descaling, because these are not a cure for descaling, are they? You still have to descale it, even if you've got one of these.
Absolutely.
Right.
Definitely, definitely. There's the next button down, which I'll sort of preempt to, is the water filter. So it tells you whether the water filter's there or not.
Tell the machine whether or not you have one.
Basically, yeah. And then the next button is Start Calc Clean. Now this is the screen that comes on when the machine tells you it's ready to descale.
Right.
You can bypass this if you want and still use the machine. So you don't have to. If you haven't got your descaler, and you're desperate for a coffee, you can still make a coffee. Okay. But you do need to do it, and this will come up every single time you turn your machine on.
Yeah.
So your solution goes in here. We've got a separate cleaning video, and then you press the Calc Clean button here, and it will go through the procedure to clean the machine. So that is it. A reset goes back to factory settings, so that goes back to all your lengths of coffee and your hardness, etc., etc. So that's your last one. So there you're back to coffee temperature. So we are back to our main screen.
So we are actually going to cover the internals of the machine in another video, because the internals of the Anima Deluxe, and the Anima Prestige are all the same. So we're going to cover them in one video. We're going to talk about cleaning, and we're going to talk about how they work. Headline figures: all the Animas take 12 shots of coffee before you have to change the dump box, and this is a drag drawer. Other than that, we're going to put it back together.
We are, yep. So pop that in there, and we see the little warning light to say it's missing. So we just pop that in, and that red light will go off. Ready back into idle mode to make your coffee.
That's fantastic.
Simple as that.
If an Anima Black is the kind of thing that you think you might like, or you'd like to look for the specs and reviews, our website is just down in the description there, and all of our links to our social media are down there as well. But other than that, enjoy your coffee.
Cheers.